Oh shit. Here we go again.
What's up, fam? Told y'all I'd be back. Like crack when the coke is good. I make myself laugh. So if I don't make y'all laugh, I really could care less. But I still love you. But check me out though. This story right here, it pulled on my heartstrings. And I took a lot from it. And it let me know just another observation of it could be worse. So I hope y'all feel me on this. I really do. Check this out.
They are stalking us, recording my kids playing in the yard.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
I tried to hold it in, I'm sorry.
Oh, see, I'm already in the mix. Because they make my wife cry. I might have to go get the AK or something. That's bullshit.
So I got the job at Frito-Lay in January of 2011. Prior to Frito-Lay, I was in the United States Navy.
Leaving the service, he just needed to matter. He needed to belong and have a purpose. We both thought he found that in Frito-Lay. And so we kind of centered our life around it.
I worked hard. I busted my butt every day, in and out. Shit, my wife was gonna divorce me because she didn't even think I was at work for real.
No, I did not believe.
Now, wait a minute. I'm sorry I had to stop this. The average person would believe he was at work. But a sister or a Latina? Hell nah. You think you out tiptoeing, man. And she proving that shit.
My husband just spent 20 hours at work. No one would believe that. He's not a doctor. It's chips. It's chips and dip.
I went on a stretch one time of like 26 days in a row. Was using a dock door. You press the button and it automatically does what it's supposed to do. I got electrocuted. I was taken to the ER, but the emergency room they took me to was 45 minutes away. We passed 4 hospitals on the way to the hospital they wanted to take me to. And the reason it is because they signed a contract with a certain hospital and a certain network.
From the very next day after the accident, my husband was never the same. He was working really hard to even just get up on to the side of the bed. Usually he's like hops out of bed and he hurries up, puts his clothes on, and he shoves food down his throat and he's out the door. You know, in 30 minutes, he was used to it. He was trained to do that in the service.
When I say I was healthy as an ox, I was healthy as an ox.
We just didn't have any answers. They said he should have been fine, but he wasn't.
I didn't get any time off after the incident. I had to call off the next day as a sick.
Wow. This brother crying because he had to call off after he got electrocuted. This is a good man right here, y'all. And it's just another example how the little man always...
Day. I told you I was in pain. I told you it hurts when I walk. And it was like, okay, you know, are you gonna be here tomorrow? I was a site lead and I know what that entails. You're a leadership of the whole warehouse. So if you have to fill in, you have to fill in. I asked for some type of relief, period, because I was still obligated to work, like picking cases and unloading trucks or rotating product on a forklift. I asked for a chair that I could sit in that would make me more comfortable while I'm doing my office work. They denied it. You're either 100% or you can't work. It just felt like they was just trying to push me out. Eventually I got an MRI by my primary doctor and he showed that I had 2 herniated discs in my back. And he was like, you shouldn't be doing anything. They could only fix it with surgery.
And my husband still had to work this whole entire time.
Wow, these scumbags didn't even get to do time off to get the surgery. Nah. Really?
Anything. They could only fix it with surgery.
And my husband still had to work this whole entire time.
So I had to bring that
They had to remove 2 of the discs in my neck because they were bulging into my spinal cord. I wasn't getting enough fluid to my brain. If I didn't have the surgery, the doctor said any small fall or accident or something like that, and I would have been paralyzed from the neck down or dead. That's still happening.
my boy, man, Strong, Derek Ragsdale, he be on Facebook. A lot of y'all know him. He played football for a lot of years, something similar to that. If I'm remembering correctly, it's a column that holds your spine, right? And it starts out at like 10 centimeters when you're a kid, and it grows to like 14 centimeters or something when you become an adult. Well, my dog was a hard running back, ran track, played hoops, did the long jump, all that. One day he got hit, couldn't feel his arms, went to the doctor. They told him his shit never grew from 10 centimeters. So his spine grew, but the casing around it that keeps the fluid and everything didn't. So any jar or hard hit or fall could paralyze him. So he had to give up everything. I was sad. It's not all the way similar, man, but I remember that. I was sad, so I know my dog was sad. I miss you, Streezy.
To have surgery on my lower lumbar spine.
From the moment
Any small fall or accident or something like that, and I would have been paralyzed from the neck down or dead. I still have to have surgery on my lower lumbar spine.
From the moment that he couldn't work anymore and needed short-term disability, Frito-Lay abandoned us.
I had to file for short-term disability and then long-term disability. Got approved for long-term disability, but that was months later. So no income coming in.
That's a picture of the car. We were driving.
They require you to go to the doctor so many times, and the doctor has to say that you're in this condition over and over and over. But guess what? You don't have any insurance anymore through PepsiCo/Frito-Lay because they cut you off. I had to pay for that out of pocket too. Didn't have the money to do that. So guess what? I borrowed money or used credit cards or whatever I could. I even took money out my kids' piggy bank.
Oh man, don't cry, dog.
We had to take from our children to live.
And the doctor knew what was going on, so he was like, look, just pay half of what you owe every visit, and we'll just take care of the rest later.
You work your ass off for somebody else, and then when you get hurt, this is how they treat you. And he not lying, man. I know I had a disability claim too. And they make it hard on you.
I never wanted to have a lawsuit, just not me, but I did ask for help, and I wasn't getting it.
Frito-Lay, Pepsi, Sedgwick, whoever has people following my family. They are stalking us.
Just to find something to be like, oh, he's okay.
Recording my kids playing in the yard, recording me doing yard work, They follow me in traffic, on the highway, on streets. They followed me when I gave birth to my baby. They followed me to my daughter's school. I took my daughter out of school and decided to homeschool.
When I went through it with the company, and it was crazy because it was a nightclub. It was actually one of the biggest gay bars in Hollywood called the Here Lounge on Santa Monica and Santa Monica and Robinson, right next to the Abbey. It was actually one of the coolest places I ever worked. I worked the door. It was hella cold outside, and I stepped down the stair, and bow, my quad tore off. My tendon tore off my quad, and my knee dropped all the way down to my shin. It was, woo. And the nightclub didn't have workers' comp initially. So they had to scramble and get that shit taken care of. And they was trying me like this, man. It was tough. And it took like a year and a half.
Because I don't know if we're safe. I don't know how many people they've given our address and name and information to just to prove my husband wrong. They've done it for years.
Why are you fighting so hard to say that I'm not hurt instead of just look at the paperwork, look at the medical stuff, look at everything I've been through? You would think that I'm a bad employee the way that everything has went. I've never done anything wrong to this company or even with this company. I have numerous awards to show that I'm not a person that you just throw away. I knew the sales side, I knew the operation side. I mean, hell, you could have just let me be a lead and just manage instead of physically working.
Billion-dollar corporations like Pepsi, which owns Frito-Lay, they know this is happening to people, and they do nothing about it. My husband shouldn't have to fight for 5 years over something that took less than 5 minutes to impact our entire life. He pushed a button at work, a button he can't avoid pushing. He has to push it, it's his job.
For a company that talks about diversity and culture and a family-oriented business, family don't just throw you out because you get injured.
The company makes over $200 billion a year, okay? It's chips. But my husband is worth $0 to them because he's no longer able to push those chips.
But what people don't get, communism is a form of government. Marxism, socialism, capitalism, they're all forms of the way you run your country. Democracy we got from the Greeks. But capitalism means you're able to capitalize off of the sweat of others for your financial gains. Don't let them tell you nothing else. You go to work, if you making $40, $50 an hour, what you think the company making? I'm talking about in profit. I've always tried to work for myself. It don't always work out that way. But every time I work for somebody, it ended up being some bullshit.
You are a number. You're a piece of property. I bust my butt for them. Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifices, holidays, birthdays. I miss so much family things because they make you feel like if you don't do what they say, they will let you go.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know where to go from here. Honestly, all the life goals and marriage goals and family goals that we had are gone, and I just have to figure out how to survive. And my goal and hopes and dreams now is for my husband to get back healthy and still be alive with us in the future. He dodged bullets in the city of St. Louis growing up. He dodged gangs. He stayed out of all of that. He went to war, he dodged bullets and bombs, and came back to me. And now he's been electrocuted at work. We don't know what's gonna happen from day to day. My husband stops breathing at night in his sleep. I have to wake him up at night to make sure he keeps breathing. I have to help with my children who don't understand they can't jump and play with daddy.
I mean, I just went from a very fit guy to a guy who is disabled and can barely just handle regular life stuff. I'm 36, I should be able to play with my kids in the yard. I just want my life back.
Man.
Life stuff.
That's foul. I pray for them. I'm going to try to find a follow-up and see what happened. But you know, he settled or whatever, got his lawsuit money, and he going to be all right. We always going to be all right. It's just the things we got to go through. And a lot of it's unnecessary. They could have just took care of dude. Yeah. But then at the same time, you got people that cheat and lie and steal. I run a business. You gotta make sure. And that's what makes Frito-Lay the bad guy. They probably got 30,000 employees. How many people you think file claims a month? This is just one claim. So always remember, it's two sides to every coin. I'm rolling with them because they struggling, man. Even if somebody do get them for 50,000 or whatever, so you still don't have a right to do that. I'm gonna be back though. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Y'all already know what it do. Peace.
Screw this, I'm going home.